Listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing planner, plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Yes, of course, we are celebrating today. It is National Buttered Corn Day today. I like that one. I'm a big corn fan. I enjoy, maybe not the corny jokes, but follow that National Buttered Corn with sponge cake. Little strawberries and whipped cream for me, please. Just add them right on top. Checking out the markets. We had a great report come out this morning from the Commerce Department reporting sales of new single-family homes up 12.4% last month to an annualized rate of 654,000. Wall Street was expecting 580,000 units. What is it doing for the market, though? The unfortunate answer to the markets is it's doing very, very little to the market. It's going to cause a little bit more confusion out there to see what's going on when it comes to our interest rates. We might get a little answer to that later this week when I think it's Chairman Yellen speaks later in the week. We are seeing that oil is up 42 cents a barrel. It was down earlier in the session today, so it's up 42 cents per barrel. Gas now in the state of confusion. On average, 2.663. The national average up to $2.17.7 a gallon. So it's up over a penny a gallon in the last day. So that's a big jump. A week ago, it was 5 cents a gallon lower than it is today. But last year at this time, $2.60.3. So we are doing a little bit better right there. Again, the state of confusion still lagging where we need to be. Just a thought right there. Mortgage, the 10-year Treasury, that one there as well. It's up just ever so slightly at 1.549 is the yield on the 10-year Treasury. Again, not the greatest numbers in the world. CNN in the news today, facing lawsuits over some false Melania Trump reports. Love to see this, and the irony here is you can't take this one too lightly because the lawyer that's bringing the case is the exact same lawyer that brought the case against Gawker on behalf of Hulk Hogan and won that case. So if I were CNN, or if I were the media there, I'd be looking out here. I guess it's the Daily Mail and Politico are the defendants in the case. Attorney is Charles Harder. He made the comments on CNN. So it's going to be interesting to see. Talking about Melania Trump and a supposed false accusation that she working as an escort in the 1990s. You know, it's just amazing how low the media will get in this day and age. It's a shame that they won't do their job But things like this, they have no problem going out there and spreading this information. You know, the media, before the media died, really, the idea, the job of the media was to go out and hold everybody, all officials, the public and whatnot, accountable. Now think about this. There is so many allegations out there right now with regard to the Clintons and what they've been doing. And it started when Bill Clinton was still president, and he was selling overnight stays in the Lincoln bedroom. So that's how far back some of these issues are going. Selling an overnight stay in the Lincoln bedroom. That was the issue back when. And now they've still got allegations against them. Nothing really changes with the Clintons. It's just the year and where they're selling their wares. So it's been the Clinton Foundation. A lot going on there. More emails that were supposedly turned over, and now they find that they have not been turned over. And ironically enough, the media is not saying a word about it. They're not out there. If this was a Republican, 60 Minutes would be doing a story out there. They'd be leading with it instead of being on Jimmy Kimmel laughing last night about the whole issue. It's very, very interesting watching the death of the real legitimate media in our country. It is a bit of a shame that we're seeing this play out right before our very eyes. It's somewhat amazing. Then you go and you look in the same issues in the same day, same news stories out there, talking about a former IRS chief. Now, this is an interesting one because a former IRS chief is out saying that Donald Trump has no reason not to turn over his taxes while he's being investigated by the IRS. Now, knowing what we know and having seen what we've seen going on at the IRS, does anybody trust the IRS anymore? No! No, I wouldn't think so. Lois Lerner, she said that they weren't targeting conservatives, but they found that they are targeting conservatives. Donald Trump's being audited every year. That seems to me like it's almost harassment. It doesn't matter whether you're a Trump supporter or a Clinton supporter, but being audited every single year, I think he said, 15 years in a row. Interesting. And then you see what goes on with the Clinton Foundation, where the amount that they donate to charity is so low that some of the services won't even rate it anymore. They say you have to have 10% donation for them to do a rating, and they don't even rate it anymore. So you wonder about where the legitimacy is, or the fair and balance, I guess would be a good term. Guess we don't see that anymore, but we just keep on getting some of these news stories coming out more and more. So a former IRS chief saying that Trump should release them. How about giving us some input as to when they might stop the auditing? Just a thought there. Moving right along. How about, are you one of those folks that got caught up in the Costco issues? Yeah, a number of Costco members Friday night received emails from Citi, the issuer of the new Visa Costco credit card, alerting them that their credit card accounts had been closed. And some of the people got the messages at an email address, which was theirs, obviously, or else they wouldn't have got the message. But the last 4 digits of the credit card were not the correct 4 digits on the credit card. So think about that concept, getting these information. And it turns out when you look back at what was being said by Costco or by Citi, it turns out that these were all people that had their memberships were expiring. So they got these notices saying because their membership had expired, or supposedly that was the reason that these notes went out, was membership expired, so there was no reason for them to have this tool anymore, this credit card, the Costco credit card, because you can't use it at Costco, yet it's all fouled up. So once again, a little bit of this transition. It's amazing when you look at these things. A transition of 11 million users, all on a single given date. I guess it could cause a little bit of confusion there. Speaking of confusion, You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how long does the home buying process take? 8 programs that can help you get out of student loan debt. Some myths about mortgages that may be holding back buyers. I heard from one early this morning. Still not getting it, so we'll have to chat about that as well this morning. You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. One of the real estate professionals will be reaching out to you. They will chat with you, give you an idea of what the value, the equity position is of your real estate. Some good information that they come up with on that. You need to know what side of the street your house is on, even, to figure out what the value, the equity is. What do you owe on it? These are all issues that don't come from the services. How long does the home buying process take? It's a question I get on a regular basis. I thought I would explore that a little bit with you because there are variables. Yesterday, if you remember, we were chatting a little bit about the loan and pricing and why your neighbor might get a different rate quote there or interest rate than you get. So the question then comes up is how long does the home buying process take? Which is it's a great question. A lot of people have that thought and don't really know the answer. And a lot of that has to do with how and where you get started with the home buying process. The issue becomes that if you're going out and just starting to shop, I'm going to suggest that if you go and just start shopping, that's going to be a slower process of getting a home than if you do exactly what I'm about to share with you. The process of doing it the right way versus what I would say the term I would use is conventional way, because there are so many people that are going to do it the conventional way. I wouldn't say it's the wrong way. I'm just saying it's going to take you a longer time to get your home. So what I'm going to suggest is go out there and meet with a mortgage banker. Big issue. Meet with a mortgage banker. You do not want to be meeting and going to the bank on the corner. We talked about that yesterday. If you didn't catch that broadcast, well, I'm sorry, but we did speak about the idea that the big bank on the corner, they only have their own programs to talk to you about. They can't tell you, they're not going to tell you what their competitor is doing. So you get left out in the cold because you're going to the wrong spot. So go to a mortgage banker is the first place you start with. I'll put you in touch, obviously. Now, I do have a vested interest there because I do work closely with a lending team at Gold Star Mortgage. But here's the reason I say that is you get the loan application going to start with. Then you're going to go and they're going to look at your credit report. Credit reports are a big issue. I'm going to talk to you in the Mortgage Minute segment later on this morning. I'm going to share with you another one of those areas that people are just unfortunately getting some poor counsel. I had somebody tell me, well, I'll save that for later. So I want you to have a mortgage banker that's got a lot of experience starting to look for you at your credit score. I want them to know what your credit score is looking like. Okay? Because they may be able to put together a process for you to enhance your credit score. Why? Well, it gets you a better interest rate. Remember I talked yesterday about this. Your interest rates get price breaks, 620, 680, sometimes 650, but mostly 680, 720, 740 with certain institutions, 750. Those are the places that you're going to get a better credit score. So if you start that early on, you're going to figure out what your budget is, what you qualify for. I don't want you to go looking at $500,000 houses when you qualify for $400,000 houses, because then the $400,000 house doesn't look as nice and you start getting a misconception of what's in your best interest. So I want you to look at that item which is within your budget. Okay, so that's why you starting with the mortgage banker, getting the loan application in. They should have a detailed checklist of the items that you're going to need to finalize the loan. And remember this, it's a detailed checklist is, again, that's the benefit of that, is that way you end up not having to go and do things multiple times. It drives most consumers nuts. It drives me nuts when I get piecemealed. I need this document. Okay, so I supply that document, and then I get an item, the next document. And you supply that one, and then you get another. No, that's a pain in the neck. And you finally start saying, holy cow, can't you figure out what you need in the first place? Well, the answer to that question is a great lender knows precisely what they need. And they can get that information to you and give you a checklist. I like the idea of the checklist. Because that way you say, okay, I need 2 years worth of tax returns, all pages. I need 2 years worth of W-2s and 1099s. I need K-1s if they're applicable. I need corporate returns if applicable. Divorce decree, the whole thing if it's applicable. 30 days worth of pay stubs. 2 months worth of bank statements, all pages, even the blanks. It sounds dumb, but yeah, even the blanks. All of those things are items that a great lender will know that you need. So you get all of that documentation from the checklist and you supply it to them. Because what's going to take place is for you to go start to finish of a loan, it is going to take 5 hours. 4 of those hours, you're going to say, okay, I get it. They're just supplying documents that are needed and answering questions that are needed, figuring out the right loan program for you, the whole 9 yards there. But then you're going to have a certain amount of time you're going to think is a total waste. And I'm going to say humor your mortgage banker for that hour. It's 1 out of the 5 hours. 20% of the time, you're going to think it's a total waste. Humor the mortgage banker. The whole issue there is it's just a compliance thing. Compliance is a royal pain in the neck these days. So humor them. If they don't get it right, it might even put the lender out of business because of the way compliance is these days. So humor them. Get pre-approved. What is the difference? You got pre-qualification, pre-approved, and pre-underwritten. 3 completely different items there. So pre-qualified means that the lender or the mortgage banker has looked at the documentation and they said, yeah, it looks pretty good. I think we can do this. They haven't really examined everything to the fullest extent. Then you're going to get the next step is going to be pre-approved. They've done everything that the pre-qualified has done, but they've actually run it through an automated underwriting system. Now, I'm going to share with you the automated underwriting system. That's a next level for you, and it is enhanced for you. But here's the issue. If you put garbage into the automated underwriting system, you can get it to say whatever you want it to say. So the idea here is I want you to get pre-underwritten. You can go start shopping once you've got the pre-approval. But go to a lender that has what's called a TBD underwriting on your purchasing loan. TBD underwriting means they're going to send that file to an underwriter while you're out shopping. What that's doing is they're taking the automated underwriting approval and they're doing all the verifications. They're making sure that the income was entered properly. They're making sure the tax returns were analyzed properly. They're making sure that all the verifications of employment, all the underwriting guidelines are all being done the right way. And they do the verifications. You see, the mortgage banker, the loan officer, they collect all the data, even the information that's on the loan application and the initial disclosures. That's all preliminary information. It is not final. It is not binding upon you. There are certain laws that make parts of it binding upon the lender, but it's not binding upon you, the borrower. So once all that's collected and input, well, then it's got to be verified to make sure it matches the underwriting guidelines. The underwriting guidelines are a complete different issue. So we want you to get that TBD, to be determined, approval when you're out shopping for a home. Because that way you've got multiple tracks going. You're out shopping with a great real estate professional. And again, I'll put you in touch with one of them. But you're also having your file underwritten at the same time. That way, if your file gets underwritten and you get all of the conditions and you get a conditional approval, all that's left to do is get an appraisal and make sure title is clear and you're ready to close. So your home buying process takes less time because you've got multiple tracks going simultaneously. Your real estate agent, if they understand how this process works, if they're working with in a team with a great lender, you've got these multiple tracks going, and they might be able to go in and say, you know something, we've got a fully underwritten borrower. They're the same as a cash buyer. And you might be able to get a heads up or a better benefit on your loan or on your purchase contract, because there's less contingencies, there's less risk for the seller and the seller's agent. Seller's agent has to be educated by your agent to know what this to be determined underwrite means. We'll talk more about this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Programs that get you out of student loan debt. We'll chat about that. And some myths about mortgages that may be holding back buyers. They might even be holding back folks who are thinking about restructuring and taking advantage of these near historic low rates. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL lendingteam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
With more than 25 years of experience, ATI is a national leader in restoration, environmental remediation, and reconstruction. We're proud to be the nation's largest family-owned restoration contractor. ATI has over 700 full-time employees and 15 offices across the county. Our services include 24-hour emergency response, water damage, fire and smoke damage, lead, asbestos removal, mold remediation, and much more when the need arises. Call 1-800-400-9353. That's 1-800-400-9353. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694552.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 1-800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. They are the ones that are ready to assist you with getting this home buying process underway. 2 myths about mortgages that may be holding back buyers. Interesting, and I'm going to share that in some instances it might even be holding back folks from refinancing as well. Fannie Mae's, what do consumers know about the mortgage qualification criteria? There's a study revealed that Americans are misinformed about what is required to qualify for a mortgage when purchasing a home. Myth number 1, I need a 20% down payment to qualify for a home loan. According to the report, 76% of Americans either don't know, which is 40%, or are misinformed, 36%, about the minimum down payment required. Many believe they need at least 20% down to buy their dream home. New programs actually let buyers put down as little as 3%. So, Digital Risk survey of millennials who recently purchased a home, giving you the results of the amount of down payment. How much was your down payment was the question of millennials 18 to 34. So 0% down was 10%. 1 to 5% did 26% down payment. 36% did less, 5% down or less. And 64.2% did less than 20%. 64.2 less than 20%. Think about that. Myth number 2, I need a 780 FICO score or higher to buy. Survey says, the survey revealed that 59% of Americans either don't know or are misinformed about what FICO score is necessary. Many Americans believe a good credit score is 780 or higher. Well, that's a great credit score. So to help debunk this myth, Ellie Mae Origination Insight Report focused on recently closed approved loans. And I'm going to post the whole chart on Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. But 54.1% got their loans with a FICO score of 600 to 749. 600 to 749. I just had an email from somebody early this morning saying that they had been contemplating getting a new home loan, but they know that they have to have a 650 FICO score and their score's below that. And I shared with them that they need to start listening to Ron Siegel Radio more often, because you don't need a 650 FICO score or better. What you need to do is look and see what's in. Now, maybe the 580 FICO programs or the 600 FICO programs, maybe they are not what the right program is for that particular borrower. But if they're still looking and they've got a 4.5%, 5.5% interest rate, or they've got a multi-loan, they've got a combo loan, again, not a bad product. I've counseled many people to go into the combos. But here's the issue, is if you got a combo, here's what a combo loan is. It's basically a loan that if you have 5 or 10% for a down payment and you don't want to get mortgage insurance, you get a combo loan. And what the combo loan is, it has a home equity line of credit attached to it, and you end up with a no mortgage insurance on the program. Now, the idea there is you get out of the home equity line of credit, or even if you have mortgage insurance, you get out of that as quick as you can. The idea is to use those tools to get you in the game. And I don't have a problem with them. A lot of people, I hear quite a few people saying, well, some mortgage insurance is horrible. You should never do it. And I'm going to say hogwash to that. I'm going to say you do what's in the best interest of your family. And renting, if there's any way that you can possibly buy property, renting is not what is in the best interest of your family. Just plain and simple, it's not. Think about that. Think about that. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. We went in depth on this yesterday. Paying somebody else's mortgage, is that going to... There's very few times that I'm going to say that's in your best interest. I even have a young couple that I've been counseling recently. And I want to talk... I spoke to them about getting their new home. And we did a combo loan, so they didn't have mortgage insurance. And now they're doing another loan to get rid of the combo. They're going to put in a little extra money into the loan so that they pay off the part and keep their loan under $417,000. And they just said to me, well, Ron, does that make sense if now we're thinking about moving in the next 5 years? I said, it makes even more sense now than it did before, because I am going to recommend to them do whatever they possibly can to look with the intent of keeping their existing property and then going to the next property and getting closer to work without selling that first property, rent it out. Because at their ages, they're in their mid-20s, I think. One's in the mid-20s, the other's in maybe 30. If you have two properties, think about how much better that is for them. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? They've got two properties appreciating. They've got one property that they're renting out to somebody who's not listening to Ron Siegel Radio, is not getting this counsel, who's helping to pay their mortgage and their retirement. So if they get that property paid off over the next 30 years, or they do another refi, take cash out of it, wow. 30 years, they've got two pieces of property that are both doing great financially for them, both appreciating. Maybe they'll do it again later on, and maybe they'll have 3, 4, 5 properties by the time they get to 60 years old, 55 years old, whatever their number is. And now they've got another retirement vehicle, because think about this. They've got a $500,000. I think that it was just appraised at like $525,000. If that appreciates at 4% a year, they're getting another $20,000 a year of appreciation. If it works perfectly, and it never does, but if it worked perfectly, $20,000 a year they'd have going into their retirement funds. Wow. 30 years from now, 20,000 is 1.2 million, I think, or 600,000. I don't know. Figure out the numbers. I'm just a guy doing radio here that shouldn't be talking about big numbers when we're talking, but I like to. So $600,000 extra retirement money. $600,000 for these young people. Now, they could work on saving $20,000 a year. What it would take you to save $20,000 a year out of your existing income. See, that's the difference right there. Saving $20,000 out of your existing income becomes difficult. But saving $20,000 out of equity growth, appreciation growth. And remember, while they're paying down the mortgage, they're getting more equity on the equity side, and they're getting more equity on the appreciation side. So they're double dipping. So they're going to have even more at that time because they're paying down the mortgage using somebody else's money. Think about game plans, people. Game plans is the idea. How do we get where we want to go with the most efficient use of all of our resources? Now, a lot of people will talk about the idea that they can save enough money for retirement. Well, I'm going to tell you that, to me, you know my feelings. I'm not a big fan of the 401k. I'm not a big fan of the IRA, the SEP, because that means you get to pay more taxes later on. There are better tools out there that you can use for those services, those programs. We can chat about it if you have a question about it. Again, that's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by Gold Star Mortgages. Myths about mortgages that may be holding you back. So before the break, we were also talking about how long the home buying process takes. Right now, if you are looking at first home, maybe the move-up home, you're still looking at, unfortunately, a little bit of a delay in the buying process. I'm going to tell you why you've got that buying process taking a little bit longer than what might be. Patience is the key word in the buying process. There is still, even though we got this wonderful report this morning, there is still a shortage when it comes to inventory of real estate in the non-luxury market. And the non-luxury market means something different in every area. So in Newport Beach, it might be a $2 million home, whereas in Escondido, it might be a $1 million home. And in San Bernardino, luxury might be $600,000. So whatever the luxury is, the high end of the scale, those are not flying as quickly. But if any of the other properties that are priced properly are selling extremely quickly right now. So you need to be patient. But remember I said in the last segment, we were talking about getting pre-underwritten. Well, that gives you a real estate professional a big advantage. Because if that professional is able to go out and write an offer that does not have a loan contingency in there. You have an appraisal contingency, you have a title contingency, but you don't have to have the loan contingency because you're pre-approved, pre-underwritten. Then it gives them an advantage of getting you the best possible deal for your new home. We'll talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Programs to help you get out of student loan debt will be on the agenda as well. You can reach us anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA-insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE/NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869-452 and 1866775.
Summer's here. How's your AC unit, lawn, doors, and windows? With Hero, make your home more comfortable this summer and lower your utility bills. Visit HeroProgram.com for details or call 855-HERO-411. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Programs that can help you get out of student loan debt is the subject of today's Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Programs to help you get out of student loan debt. It's amazing. I have been seeing some folks come through, call in, that have got amazing amounts of student loan debt lately. Unfathomable. the amount. Saw one file, $300,000, another one that had $200,000, another one that had $260,000. Student loan debt. Ooh. 71%, this is 2015 number, 71% of college graduates left school with an average of $35,000 in debt, nearly quadruple the average debt among college graduates in 1993. A lot of debt to be strapped with as graduates make their way into the working world. Why do I see them? Well, it's because they're looking for methods of buying a home, and they're wondering, how do they deal with all that debt? Think about it. People are retiring with, $600,000, $700,000 in retirement money, yet they'll come out of school with $200,000 or $300,000 in student loan debt. Weigh those two. Weigh them together. There are some options to see what assistance you might qualify. Remember, your student loan repayments can have a huge impact on your credit scores, which can affect your ability to get good interest rates on auto loans, credit cards, and even home mortgages. You can see how your student loan repayments are impacting your credit by going and getting a free credit report. There are several sources, and there are several models that will show you what's happening there as well. So, what are some of the areas? Permanent disability forgiveness. Might qualify to have student loans forgiven by following the steps outlined on disabilitydischarge.com. That's mainly for veterans to look at that resource to see if that'll work for you. There are a lot of different areas where you might want to be checking in there. Public service forgiveness. Here's an interesting one because I just did some research for a listener on this one as well. Public service forgiveness. So he's got a huge amount of student loan debt. Actually, it's a she. I was talking to the husband. The wife has a lot of student loan debt, and she works in the public sector. So she's got a repayment plan that says she pays X number of dollars for 10 years, and at the end of 10 years, any remainder is forgiven. So what does that mean to your ability to get a loan? Number one, it's great. You go and you do this, and you will apply at studentaid.gov is where you're going to go for your application there. And again, like in that case, of this particular scenario that I'm sharing with you, it was they're making their payments for 120 months, 10 years, then the balance is forgiven. The issue is Fannie Mae just changed their guidelines. You can't make this stuff up. That on student loan debt, you've got to either go with the higher of 1% of the balance, or you have to go with the actual payment, whichever is higher. Now, if you use the actual payment, it has to be something that's amortizing over or fully amortized payment. So the student loan forgiveness program is not fully amortizing, even though they've got a 10-year repayment plan. One would have thought that Fannie Mae would have looked at this and said, something, if you've got this benefit of public service forgiveness, you should be able to apply that, but maybe they'll make some changes and see what happens there. But that's just where we stand right now. Physician forgiveness. Several states offer student loan forgiveness programs to doctors. Some also include pharmacists, dentists, nurses, and other healthcare professionals. New York is one of them. They offer $150,000 to physicians who commit to working in an underserved region for 5 years. So another one of those programs. Nursing repayment program. Program repays up to 60% of student loans for registered nurses who agree to work full-time. And again, it's the new America. That's 32 hours or more each week for 2 years in a nonprofit facility that needs nurses. So think about that as a method. Think about that. You get paid from the nonprofit facility, and then you're also getting some benefits to your student loan repayment. Teacher repayment. If you teach full-time for 5 consecutive school years in an elementary, secondary school, or educational service agency serving low-income families and meet other qualifications, you might be eligible for forgiveness up to a combined total of $17,000 on your student loan debt. Again, you have to go and look at the website for them as well. Income-based repayment. Program doesn't necessarily help you pay off your loans faster, but it does make your payments more affordable by capping them at 10 to 15% of your discretionary income, according to studentaid.gov. After making consistent payments for 20 years or 25 years, any remaining balance is forgiven. Again, that one is studentaid.gov. Doesn't have any application to your mortgages, remember, or buying a home, so you might need some help there. Pay-as-you-earn program, similar to the income-based repayment program. The pay-as-you-earn program caps borrowers' monthly payments at 10% of discretionary income. That's another one of them. Student loan counseling. Some borrowers, the task of sorting through all the options can be daunting. In fact, the Department of Education recently announced it will launch a pilot program to see if requiring loan counseling beyond entrance and exit sessions for borrowers could help students better manage their debt. I'll give you a few of the options right there. That is the Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you again by creditsanitizer.com. Just giving you some information on helping you with student loan debt. Now remember, student loan debt in most instances is not forgiven in bankruptcy, but if it is a hardship, there are carve-outs that will allow for it to be forgiven in bankruptcy. So if you do have a hardship, make sure that you're talking to an attorney who really understands these programs, because, again, if you don't ask for it, nothing happens. The government is not going to give you any benefits at all. So if you better ask for the program and see, maybe you qualify. If you don't qualify, it doesn't cost you anything to have made the inquiry. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you the advice. I don't give legal counsel. But I can give you questions to ask a bankruptcy attorney. If you don't have one, again, I can put you in touch with somebody that specializes in that arena and knows, again, the big issue is not only do we want them to specializing in that area, we want them to have some experience. And I know an attorney recently who actually won on appeal a case for their client to help them get these benefits of getting student loan debt wiped out. Now, the government made it easy to get the student loan debt. I'm going to suggest to you that you really need to work on it and maybe roll it into something else. Roll it into something else might be your solution, because then down the road, if it needs to be that you're going to have to discharge, it gives you an option. Get rid of that student loan debt as quickly as you possibly can. Get it off of your, again, even to the point that the way it's written, it gets you the loans easy while you're in school, doesn't help you get rid of them at any time during your life. But the benefit here is if you can get it out of a student loan status, then when you go to buy a house, you don't have to follow those student loan guidelines because it's not a student loan anymore. So you're restructuring it, you're paying it off under another program to kind of help you along the way to benefit you, to benefit your family. Just a thought for you. Again, talk to somebody. Great counsel does not cost money. You have to pay for it. But if they show you a way to help with your family game plan, and we're going to be talking more with some really great planners as we go forward, especially as we move into the last part of the year. Hard to believe already. 4 months left of the year. And I'm going to suggest to you that with 4 months left, that's about the time when you need to start talking to financial planners and getting counsel on how much money you need to be putting in your retirement account. You're planning for taxes, because taxes are done in the last 2 to 3 months of the year. That's when your planning takes place to get the best possible guidance for your tax or to minimize your taxes, really is the best way of saying it, to minimize your taxes. You can't do that after the first of the year. So I'm going to suggest some people that you want to really be talking to about tax planning, tax guidance, and we'll get into that a lot coming up in the real near future. And that's why I ask you to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests' introductions, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
In the middle of our streets, our house.
XLPE 1700 AM Tekatek Bakalikama.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.
It starts with the tires.